introduce my co-host, Beth Ellen. Beth Ellen, please introduce yourself.
I'm Beth Ellen Rosenthal, Jerome's co host. I love YouTube. I've seen Jaime's presentation dozens of times, and it is so rich. Each time I learn something new. So I am so excited to learn more today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Beth Ellen. All right, so here's what we're going to do. This is an engaging class, right? So we have some presentation. What I need to do is I need to lean on the audience for feedback and engagement. And the way it works is I typically need 50% engagement in order to proceed. So what you need to do is you need to type in the chat. I'm going to request that you turn your attention to the left in the room and you should see a big blue screen. If you can see that big blue screen with like a gold line between it, please type yes in the chat. And as soon as we hit 50% engagement on the yes, we will proceed. Awesome. Thank you. So, welcome to the Social Media Mastermind. We have this class every Thursday here in the EXP Work Productivity Center. I am your host for today. You already heard a little bit about me, but just a little more detail about me. I'm from the Philadelphia area, so if anybody has any referral business in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania surrounding areas, please contact me. Next, I like to call myself a silly and serious millennial. Furthermore, I'm also pretty good with technology. Beth Ellen gave me the term technologist, so I like to use that. And I like to bring this up so people can understand that you don't have to be somebody that you're not in this business, right? You're hearing from me. I am an introvert. And also our speaker, Jaime, he's an introvert too. So that's one of the things that we connect on. Next, I am also, right? So I'm an introvert, but guess what? I'm also a speaker and presenter, right? I'm an international speaker. How's that for an introvert? Next, I love the DISC behavioral assessment. We talk about this a lot here in EXP, and I believe it's a foundation to having success in your business when dealing with clients as well as other personalities in our business, right? Understanding those personality types and those behaviors. So, just so you can understand me, my DISC profile is I'm very results oriented and very detailed, right? That means I'm a high D, high C personality. Combine those two, that makes me an implementer. So I'm really good at implementation, and I'm also good at helping you implement. I also run a marketing agency. We specialize in working with like real estate professionals. And then if you want to learn more about me professionally, personally, or you want to connect with me on social media, just visit jeromelewis.com and all my information is there. Also, from the things I've learned here, the interaction, the engagement, the participation, I've also written a book on marketing. And was it February? It became a number one best-selling book. So if you're interested in that, I'll tell you a little bit about that in a few. Now, we teach this class together. Beth Ellen tells the history a little bit better than I do, but we together in conjunction, we won EXP University Instructors of the Year. So I like to showcase this so you understand the talent that we're bringing you here in these classes. All right, so this is our social media mastermind. What I need for you to do is I need you to type yes in the chat so I can know that you're following me. I need at least 50% engagement in order to proceed. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. So this is our rotating schedule. We have this class every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, but the classes and the subject switches, right? What that means is each week we go over a different topic, and sometimes it changes, sometimes it fluctuates, but we generally have a consistent structure. Week one, we go over marketing concepts. It used to be Facebook, but now we talk about different concepts around marketing. Week two, we do Instagram and branding. Paula comes in and she teaches us how to use Instagram and how we can brand ourselves on social media. Week three, we do video marketing, specifically video communication, video marketing, and all kinds of strategies on how you can employ video marketing into your business. And then week four, which is this week, Jaime comes in and he teaches us all about YouTube and how to get business from YouTube, right? So earlier in the content creators, I talked about like those vanity metrics that everybody get obsessed with, and those are not important. Those are not as important to us as it is to get business. So Jaime is going to teach you and show you how you can use YouTube to gain some business. And then whenever we have a week five, we have open questions or we do some kind of workshop. All right, so these are some tips for you to get the most out of this training. Number one, take screenshots, take a picture of your screen, make sure you're taking and utilizing notes, right? Number two, this is a quote that I like to bring up. It's attributed to Benjamin Franklin, and the reason why I like to mention this is because it emphasizes the importance of engaging and interacting. Right. So the quote goes like this: "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn." And the reason why I bring that up is because the best way that you're going to learn anything is through engagement and interaction, implementing, doing. So we can absorb all this information we want, but it's not going to take immediate effect until we implement. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you're engaged and involved. I have some links I'm going to share with you. I have a YouTube channel where I post some training, some tips, and things like that. And I also have a Facebook group for anybody that's interested in joining that Facebook group, getting questions, answer anything like that. Now, so this is, remember I talked a little bit about the book that I compiled from the research, the data, and the interactions here in the class. This is a book, and if you want to learn how to implement marketing into your business, you want to get a copy of this book. It's on Amazon for only 99 cents, or you can get it for free. Either or, if you're interested in like a physical copy, just contact me via workplace or message me, and I'll tell you how you can get like an actual physical copy. But the Kindle copy, the electronic version, is only $1 or it will be free. And that's on Amazon. I'll drop a link to that in right now. Actually, let me grab it. So if you're interested in that, you can scan that QR code or you can click this link that I'm dropping in the chat right now. It's only 99 cents or it will be free. So please type yes in the chat if you are ready to proceed. I need at least 50% engagement. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Thank you. So, these are some stats that I like to share so I can help you understand the importance of social media. We're talking about YouTube today, and YouTube is not exactly social media, but it has many social media aspects, right? So, some of these things apply. That's why I like to have YouTube in here. These are some stats that you want to pay attention to and understand the importance of being on social media. The bottom line of this slide here, all of these points, is that people that use social media they close more business than those that don't, right? So I always get people that have reservations about using social media in their business. I don't like it, it's not for me. Think about your customer, right? And also think about the success you'll achieve when you utilize social media correctly. The next slide I like to read out loud because it's relevant to us as realtors, right? And social media is a top lead generation tool for realtors, so if you're not using it, you're missing out. Next, I also like to reference video marketing stats. I'm huge on video and using video into your business. These are some stats that you want to take a screenshot of or take a picture of on your device too. But my favorite one here is that users are 12 times more likely to share video content than anything else on social media, right? So videos just by itself, just by creating a video, your content is 12 times more likely to be shared. And then the next statistic that I like to share, and this one is a little personal to me. So it says right here, 85% of buyers and sellers prefer video, but less than 40% of agents use video. These stats are directly from National Association of Realtors. But in my experience, in my personal experience, and I've surveyed a lot of agents and I've also surveyed a lot of real estate professionals, I say this number is less than 10%. Right? Every time I survey a room, less than 10% of people are doing video. Furthermore, though, I like to follow up with a question on that, and I like to ask how many people are using video consistently, and that number drops even further. So, if you want to stand out and you want to figure out a way that you can stand out in your business, this is the way right here, using video content. And again, Jaime is going to teach you how to use YouTube, which is a video platform. He's going to teach you how to use YouTube in your business so you can gain business successfully. All right? Now, just really quickly again, this is our rotating schedule. So you want to take a screenshot of this. You're wondering which topics or which subjects we're going to talk about week to week. This is it right here. All right, please type yes in the chat if you're ready to proceed. Awesome, thank you. So here's what we're going to do. Today we're going to learn, Bethany?
This, yes, sorry.
Today we're going to learn about YouTube marketing for your business. Jaime is going to teach us. Before we get there though, I'm going to introduce Jaime, right? So Here we go. Jaime Resendiz is a real estate agent and marketing strategist that focuses on helping real estate professionals grow their business through actionable content. More specifically, today we're talking YouTube. Jaime has a YouTube channel and he has a ton of history, not only himself, but he also teaches this to agents, right? So Jaime has over 25,000 subs. He has over 2 million views and he consults over 1,000 agents personally each year. The cool thing is Jaime does not only implement these strategies and the things that you're about to learn about today for himself, but he also implements them for his students. So, Jaime, I'm excited to have you here. I'm looking forward to this presentation again. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for that, Jerome. No,
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate hanging out with y'all every single fourth Thursday. And just a quick endorsement of Jerome's book. I'm holding it in my hands right now. If this was Zoom, you would actually be able to see it. But just go out and get a copy. It's a very it's a straightforward read. It's not too long, so it's really right up my alley and very actionable. That's really what I look for when I'm looking for books in this I guess let's genre would be the best way of saying it, because we get all the rah, we get all the motivation, all that fun stuff, but very often the how and the actual action items aren't shared. Somebody dancing right now? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool, let's get going. So let's talk some YouTube. We're gonna, again, the goal here is to provide something actionable for you where most often in sessions like this, we'll talk in the abstract, but I really want to dive into the practical, the tactical, something that you can walk away with and implement today. So as soon as our session is complete, I promise you're going to have an action item, in fact, multiple action items that are going to help your business. But first, let's understand what's on the agenda. First, we're going to build a case for why YouTube. We're going to spend a couple of minutes here. I suspect that if you are at this session, you have a understanding that YouTube might have a presence in your business. We're going to look at the equipment needed very briefly and really break down any myths and just fallacies out there on what you'll actually need to get started. We'll look at the YouTube workflow in depth. This is really where we're going to spend the bulk amount of time today to show you how to actually start creating videos at scale and not lose the sight of you being a real estate agent. Oftentimes when agents get started on YouTube, we get enamored with the video creation and really get into the video making mode, almost like we are Steven Spielberg, but that is not necessary here. If that is your hobby and you want to be a cinematographer or something like that, then you might want to leave the industry. But I'm treating this as a real estate agent first, which the goal for every real estate agent when we're talking about YouTube is to generate leads, right? We're not after views, we're not after likes, we're not after subs, we're not after all that stuff. We're after the commission checks, right? So I just want to make sure we all understand the one thing and we're all clear on that. And then we're going to look at video optimization, how to actually optimize our videos so it can be seen, it can be viewed, right? So, and I'll give you several examples, one that's happening right now, but let's get going. So let's look at some results real quick, because one of the things that happens, especially when you get introduced to something new or something that's not commonly adopted, is, well, hey, I wonder if this works. I wonder if someone else is seeing success. Yes, I'm being told by these individuals, whether they're coaches, whether they're influencers, whether they're whatever, and I get told this strategy, but chances are they probably haven't adopted it in their business, or else they wouldn't be coaches, right? So if but so there's that question of, hey, I wonder if this works. Well, I want to show you one channel. And every single week, well, every single month, I try to bring a different channel and highlight a different channel so you see a rotation of it. But this month we have Franco. If you go to YouTube and type in Hola Franco, you're gonna see some of his results, some of his numbers that happened within a year. So Franco started his YouTube channel last year, February of 2021, and as of right now, this is actually an outdated slide, he is booking 25 appointments per week from YouTube. averaging 8 transactions per month, has a nationwide referral system, and has a growing real estate group. So this is one of the many channels that I want to highlight and feature for you because the opportunity is still here. The opportunity to get on YouTube remains. So if you've been hearing about YouTube for a while and you're thinking, hey, is it too late? It's absolutely not too late. Or if you just heard about YouTube today and like, hey, I just saw this interesting session, I want to hop in and see how to actually get started with YouTube, now is the time to get going. So just want to show you that these results are happening in real time. And you have not missed the boat. This is a fantastic way for you to create videos, upload them on YouTube, get seen, have people reach out to you, and start getting those commission checks. Again, at the end of the day, what I'm encouraging you to do is get on YouTube as quickly as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be done. And we'll continue going. I really want to get down into the action items as quickly as possible. But let's first understand why this even works. Right, so we have, as Jerome mentioned, video is so important and is very statistically proven that is preferred by your buyers, your sellers, your clients, right? So the reason that this is working so well is, well, YouTube has over 2 billion monthly users. To put that in perspective, that's twice the size of Instagram. So the audience is here. The people that you want to sell homes to and have and the people that are the homeowners that you want to sell their houses, they are on YouTube. Whether it's a home buyer or home seller, they are here. And the reason that YouTube works so well, especially if you want to be a leveraged agent, an agent that really maximizes your time and really want to spend more time with your family or growing your business through building a team or pursuing other passions, is because YouTube is a one and done model. The moment that you create a video, which again, YouTube is a video-based platform. I think most of us have a sense of what that is. Once you create your video and you upload it on YouTube, you're done. You go on to the next video. So once you upload to YouTube, your next challenge is uploading another one and another one and another one, right? So this is different than door knocking. This is different than cold calling. The moment that you hang up on the phone, well, that phone call is done. You're not going to necessarily get additional business from that phone call that you just ended. Well, with YouTube, the moment that you drop your video, that's when your video and YouTube starts working for you. It's prospecting for you 24/7. So while people are getting off of work, while people are in work or at their work, they can be watching your content, right? So if somebody is at work, they're not going to necessarily make it that blatant and obvious to speak with the real estate agent while they are at work, right? So it gives you an opportunity to communicate on your buyers and your sellers' time. Now, something super important, and we really want to make this distinction early on, is that YouTube is absolutely free. You can upload a video for free. Now, the distinction I want to make here is the numbers that you just saw were from YouTube, the organic side of YouTube, where Franco was uploading videos. It wasn't paying anything. He was not running ads. Again, those numbers that you saw and everything that we're going to talk about here have nothing to do with taking out your credit card and paying YouTube/Google, given that Google owns YouTube, paying them a dime, right? We've all heard about Facebook ads. We've all heard about Instagram ads. We've heard Google ads and YouTube ads. This is not that. This is an organic way for you to grow your business, a sustainable way to grow your business that doesn't involve you cutting a check for thousands of dollars every single month. Now, a statistic that I want to highlight again, and Jerome already covered this, but it bears repeating. Over 80% of the content that's being consumed online right now is via video. Right, so let that really sink in. If you have not made a video, well, let's back up, because this is something I really want to make sure that we understand. Forget YouTube for a second. Let's just talk about video. In the last week, meaning in the last 7 days, have you published a video? So let me know in the chat, whether that's Instagram, whether that's Facebook, whether that's TikTok, whether that's YouTube, whether that's wherever. Let's be real with ourselves. So I see some no's, I see some yeses, I see some yes LinkedIn, I see some no's. The reason I want, engagement is always fun, but really this engagement is not necessarily for me, this is for you. right? Because this is, as you soon as you frame it in a different way, you're going to be more prone to change your habits if you haven't been doing video, right? So if you look at the statistic and you believe it to be true, which it is, by the way, that all the content that is being consumed right now, of all the content, 80% of it is being consumed in video format. Which means that if you are one of the agents, and I'm not faulting you for this, it's something that we're here to learn. If you're one of those agents that did not publish a video in the last 70 days, in the last 7 days, you're missing 80% of the audience. And the 80, and said a different way, that audience is missing you, right? So that's why this is just so powerful. And I'm really appreciate you coming by and hanging out in our sessions, especially when it comes to YouTube, because I get to be here and kind of collaborate with y'all. But this is something that is available to you today. There's no certification that you need to go through. There's no price that you need to pay. It's just the only thing that you would need to do is just take action and leave the credit card at home. And that's exactly what we're going to look at today on how we actually get going. When I say that leave the credit card at home, I mean it. To get started on YouTube, which is basically getting a video up, create a video, the only equipment that you need is your phone, right? So all of you have either an iPhone, an Android, or a combination, or whatever phone you have. Regardless of the phone that you have right now in your pocket, most likely it's going to have a quality video, it's going to have quality microphone, and there you go. That's all you need, right? So to get going and create that video and putting it out there on YouTube, the phone is a primary thing, right? So the reason that we start there is because we need to know what we don't know, which is we don't necessarily know too much about video settings. We don't know too much about audio settings, or maybe I'm projecting, but most of us real estate agents don't have any understanding. But once we start getting into the habit of video making using our phone, something that we already have, well, then we can start upgrading our equipment. Our next upgrade would be in the audio department. So let's just get very practical. What does that look like in terms of video creation? Well, you can sit in front of your window, which will give you natural light. Take your phone and turn it horizontally. So if you're at a place that you can visualize it, just take your phone and turn it horizontally, point it at you, and turn the camera on, and you're making a video, right? It's that simple. Now, once you're ready to upgrade, once you have some videos under your belt, once you understand a little bit about audio, a little bit about framing, a little bit about lighting, then we start making improvements. Well, your first improvement in terms of return on investment, meaning what's the least amount that I can spend to have the most impact, is going to be your audio. So your audio can be upgraded very simply to where you'll get some professional audio sound just from a simple lapel mic. Lapel mics range from 25 to 65 bucks. Again, you're going to get high quality audio, which is something that you would just clip onto your shirt, and you have much better audio than what you would have with your phone, even though your phone already gives you great audio. Now, the next upgrade that you're going to have is your lighting. Your lighting is going to allow you to replicate your set. It's going to allow you to replicate your environment. So when people start coming back to your channel, they know what to expect. And also with the lighting, it allows you to create video at any point in time. So some of you either can only commit to making videos in the late evening or in the early morning, depending on your family situation. So it may not even be light outside. So if you consistently make videos just in front of the windowsill, well, you're limiting yourself to only making videos during the day, right? So the next upgrade is going to be your lighting, so you can replicate it and replicate your set and make videos whenever you actually can. And then the third upgrade will be your video. Then we'll get into a fancier camera. Then we'll start worrying about aperture. Then we'll start worrying about lenses and all that fun stuff. So we as real estate agents, I feel guilty on this very, very, very much so. Whenever I started going into the YouTube rabbit hole, I went immediately for a fancy camera that cost me hundreds of dollars, and I had no idea how to use it. Even to today, I don't know how to use my camera all that well. I just have somebody that will help me via Zoom, and he'll just instruct me, hey, turn your lens this way, or do this with the aperture, do this with the shutter speed. And even though I have a $5,000 camera, I can tell you that I'm using maybe 5%, 10% of what it actually can be. But that's, that's years after getting started, right? So as far as equipment, if I bring nothing else to you when it comes to equipment, start with your phone, and then upgrade to your audio, and then upgrade your lighting, and then lastly, your video. We do not want to make equipment part of our excuses of why we didn't get started. You have everything that you need right now. Now let's talk about, and if you have any questions on the equipment, please feel free to drop them down in the chat. We'll leave plenty of time. I took out a few slides from my traditional presentation so we can have a bit more Q&A time, because we always run out of time. Now, the YouTube workflow, which you can replace the word YouTube with video. So what I want to share with you is how structured and how simple you can make your video production, because as Jerome mentioned, I consult with over 1,000 agents on a one-on-one level every single year, and I would say that about half of them, so about 500 of them, are working with me from the YouTube perspective. The other half are more organic, or whether that is social media, whether that is paid ads as well. So just a different part of their business, but about half of them are focused on YouTube. And the biggest thing that I would keep getting back was, well, I don't have time to make videos. Well, to a certain extent, that's true, because they hadn't prioritized it. And even when they prioritized it, they just weren't being very wise with how to make videos. So that's what caused me to create this workflow and really map out, what does an actual video production look like? What would it look like through YouTube? So if you look at on screen right now, you read it left, so left, down, and then move over. So brainstorm, then you optimize, then you script, then you record it, then you edit, then you distribute. So if you look at the acronym BOSRED, B-O-S-R-E-D, so just think of B-O-S-R-E-D, that is going to be your workflow. Brainstorm, optimize, script, record, edit, and distribute. If you break down the video making workflow, the video making process to these six stages, you are going to be so far ahead on your production, it's not even funny. So there was a time for about a little bit over 2 years where I was doing a YouTube video per day. And the only reason that I was able to keep up that production was because I followed this workflow. There was times where, even though I was doing a YouTube video per day for over 2 years, there was times where I was ahead by 2 to 3 weeks. It's because of this workflow, because I was able to what's known as batching. So doing a task, committing to one task, but creating multiple videos at once. So I'll give you an example. First, we're going to start off with brainstorming. So in the brainstorming stage, you're going to take 10 minutes and think of all the different videos that you want to make that are valuable for your buyers or sellers. So hear that again, that are valuable for your buyers or for your sellers. The only thing you need to think about, we're not making videos for us. We're not making videos for vanity projects. We're not making family videos. Again, this is not necessarily a hobby. If you want a hobby channel, probably in the wrong presentation. I'm more interested in you seeing results. I'm more interested in you having YouTube workflow for you and you not wasting your time, right? So taking the first 10 minutes and just brainstorming, what are some videos, what's some information that my home buyers or home sellers need to know? What's something that would have helped my home buyers understand before they called me? What's something that my home sellers would find value so as to encourage them to call me? And we'll look at some examples shortly. So when we're looking at the brainstorm, you can spend 10 minutes brainstorming all the different topics. With 10 minutes, you're going to come up with 30 ideas, 40 ideas. You're going to find this is really the most creative stage that you'll that you'll be on. So of the 6, so brainstorming is really the funnest one because the sky's the limit. You're just brainstorming. There's no right or wrong answers in the brainstorm session. So let's just say in those 10 minutes you came up with 20 ideas, 20 videos that you wanted to make on your YouTube channel. Well, you move to the next step now. Then you go to the optimize stage. So you take those 20 video ideas and bring them to the optimize stage. At the optimize stage, what you're going to do then, on the optimize stage at that point is you're going to filter out the bad ideas. This is where bad ideas go to die. So you take 20 videos into the optimize phase, into the optimize stage, and you have a bit of a realization, well, hey, maybe these video topics weren't such a good idea. Or, hey, maybe I should do this video, but I'll present it in a different way. So there's really 3 criteria that I'll share in the next slide that will help you optimize for your videos. And it basically, what's the thumbnail going to be? What's the traffic? And what's the title? So those are the 3 things, but I'll leave that for the next slide because I don't want to break up the workflow that we're going through right now. So of the 20 videos that you brought into the optimize stage, again, this is where the bad ideas go to die. Let's just say only 5 of them are worth making. Some of the ideas of the 20, some of them just were plain out bad ideas. Some of them could be combined into one video. Some of them may not be relevant to actually bringing you business. So you weed out the 20 ideas that you had and you bring out 5 videos that you actually want to make, that you optimize them. You know what the thumbnail's going to be, you know what the title's going to be, and you know that there's traffic, meaning that there's demand. Once you go through the optimize stage, you're going to take them, the 5 that ended up going through the filter, to scripting. This is where you figure out what you're going to say in those videos. If you need to script everything out to where you have all the T's crossed and all the I's dotted, great. Or if you only need bullet points, awesome. Either answer is going to work. I initially started with just putting bullet points, but now I have since transitioned into more of a script, because I'm using that script as my blog. So that's just kind of like a little inside baseball of how I'm using my my process now. But there's no right or wrong answer. You can script out everything that you're going to say and buy a teleprompter, which wouldn't take but $40-50 to get a quality teleprompter. Or you can just create some bullet points of what you want to cover, right? And you're going to see the video structure here towards, I think 2 slides from now, you're going to see the structure of what a video looks like, right? So there you're going to script out what you're going to say. And you're going to see that on stage 4. So again, keep in mind this acronym, BOSRED, BOSRED, brainstorm, optimize, script, record, edit, and distribute. Once you've scripted out what you're going to say in all those 5 videos, this is what is going to make you go much faster. You're scripting out, you're going to know what to say in all 5 videos. You're going to take all 5 videos over to the record stage, which at that point, that's when you record. The goal is for you to record those 5 within 1 day, within a couple of hours, however long you're giving yourself to record. Now, the reason I want you to record in 1 day, or in the one sitting per se, one morning or evening, however long it takes you to record those videos, is because at that point, you only have to test your audio once. You only have to test your lighting once. You only have to test your video camera once. Right? So you don't have to set up everything and then tear it back down and then do it, as time allows. So if you map out your week, as we all, including myself, need to get better at, if you decide, hey, my Thursday evenings, that's when I'm going to record all my videos. Well, some of you may not have the luxury of a home office or a home studio. So I have the benefit of both. I have actually 2 studios in my house. One is more for my B2C channel, so buyers and sellers, and one is more for my B2B channel, which is real estate agents. So I have 2 sets. So I don't have to take down my stuff. But you might find yourself in a situation where, hey, I have to record my videos and I have to record in the kitchen. That's fine. But I would much rather you record all 5 videos in the kitchen that Thursday evening than disrupt your life, disrupt your everything, and risk maybe not testing your audio correctly on one of the days that you recorded one video, This is why we're doing it the way that we do it. So record all 5 videos in one, let's just call it one sitting, or in one stage. After you record all 5 videos, then you're gonna hit the editing stage. This is where either you are editing yourself, and it's very simple to learn. You just go to YouTube University. So YouTube will show you. There's a lot of videos out there, some very amazing editors out there that will show you how to edit. Or you can just turn that footage over to an editor that will edit everything for you, and you can continue on your way, right? And then lastly, you go to distribute. Distribute is uploading the finished product, uploading the videos that are complete onto YouTube, optimizing them. You can see a little bit of what that looks like here towards the end, but distribute them onto YouTube so they can actually be found. That's when you upload the file, you attach the thumbnail, you put the title, you put the description, you put the tags, and all that fun stuff, right? So that's the workflow. So again, just remember BOSRED, BOSRED, brainstorm, optimize, script, record, edit, and distribute. If you remember that acronym, if you remember this workflow, you will be making videos incredibly fast, and that whole excuse of I don't have time is non-existent, regardless of how much time you allocate to YouTube. Alrighty, so breaking down that second stage, that second phase that we talked about. So at the optimized level, when I mentioned that at the optimized stage, that's where bad ideas go to die. So at the optimized stage, this is where you're taking all of those ideas that you just brainstormed. Remember in our example, you were taking 20 ideas into that optimized stage to really filter them out, to see if these were good ideas, if these were videos that warranted getting a script, getting recorded, getting edited, and get it uploaded. So the 3 things that you're going to ask yourself are, is there traffic? Meaning, is there demand? Does anybody outside of my brain think that this is a video that they want to watch? Right? So is there traffic? And you can use analytics. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of analytical tools that will allow you to see the search traffic. There's things like Keywords Everywhere, which is a Chrome extension that will let you know how often certain keywords or certain phrases are searched on Google and YouTube and all that fun stuff. So again, Keywords Everywhere, you can use that. You can sign up for a Google Ads account, so formerly known as Google AdWords account. They have a keyword planner, which also lets you know the search volume, the search traffic for certain keywords. Again, there's so many different tools, right? So you can use Google itself in that autocomplete feature. So whenever you type in real estate agents are, and then let the rest of the autofill happen, it gives you the most common searched, or the most common entered phrases on Google. Same thing on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and type in houses for sale in, and then it'll autocomplete. Or you can put in Dallas real estate and then let the rest happen. So you get to see what's most commonly searched for, right? So your first understanding, is there demand here? Is there traffic? Is anybody gonna care that this video exists? Well, once you have a good sense that, hey, this is probably a good idea because there's a lot of searches for this, then we're gonna move over to the thumbnail. This is where we're gonna illustrate the value. So thumbnail, what does that mean? Well, whenever you're scrolling on YouTube, whether you're on desktop or on your mobile, there are, I like to call them digital billboards that just happen to live on your phone. There's these thumbnails, this like a little a cover that generally has a few words on there explaining a little bit more about what the video that it's attached to is, or also will have a picture of the creator, the YouTuber, with an expressive face. So it lets you know, it gives you an idea of, hey, what's the value that you're gonna get with this video. So the goal here is for your thumbnail to stand out, because the moment that your video stands out, then we're gonna read the title. So if you're scrolling through YouTube, and you yourselves, I'm sure that many of you are watching YouTube, when you're scrolling through YouTube, you're looking for the thumbnails to see, is there anything interesting here, because you're gonna look at your thumbnail first, as opposed to reading all of the titles. right? So it's the thumbnail that's going to be an indicator of, oh yeah, that's a creator that I like watching, or oh yeah, that'd be an interesting topic that I want to dive into. And then you read the title. So at the optimize stage, again, you're understanding the demand. Is anybody going to search for this? Then you're looking at the thumbnail. Meaning, when I say looking at the thumbnail, I mean you need to visualize what the thumbnail is going to be and actually create the thumbnail. Send it to a designer or design it yourself so you know what's going to be on that thumbnail. And then you actually come up with the title as well. The reason we're coming up with the title here is because we're going to know what the demand is. So if you, as an example, if you're going to make the how to buy a house video, well, if you go into the keywords of analytical tools that I just brought up, well, when you're researching the traffic and demand, you're going to see the difference between the search volume when somebody types in how to buy a house versus how to buy a home, right? So you're going to see the differences between house and home. So regardless of, so if you decide to go with the house as an example, if you decide to how to buy a house, well, now you know I need to include that on my thumbnail. I need to use that word in my title, right? And this is just an example, right? So that's the optimized stage. Now, make sure if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I just want to make sure that you understand what's happening at the optimized stage, because that's the most important part, which is going to let you know which videos are worth making and which ones are worth throwing away. Because if you don't have a filter, let's go back real quick. If you don't have a filter at the optimized stage, you're going to start making some videos that you're going to start scripting, and then you're going to record, then you're going to edit, and then you're going to get so pissed off when only 2 people watched your video. Had you done a little bit of research at the optimized stage and found out that nobody cared, then don't say I didn't warn you. All right, so video structure. One of the questions that comes up is, in addition to I don't have time, is, well, you know, how do I communicate a point? How do I need to structure my video? What do I say within the video? Well, I don't necessarily tell you exactly what to say in those videos, because that's not my place. That is, it needs to come from your voice. I do give you a structure on what a video that works well on YouTube looks like. So first, you're going to start off with the hook. This hook is a one-liner. This is it's gonna cause intrigue. It's gonna cause curiosity. It's gonna really set the tone for the video, right? So you're just gonna have a hook, which again is at most is gonna be 2 sentences, but an effective hook will be within 1 sentence. Then you're gonna go into a brief intro. In this intro, I'm not talking about those cheesy channel trailers. I'm not talking about any of that. When I say intro, just briefly share a little bit of who you are, what you do, and why you do it, and then move on. All right, so the goal here isn't for you to really go onto a commercial. This is just, hey, this is who I am. Hey, this is Jaime with eXp Realty. I do real estate in Dallas-Fort Worth, as an example, right? We're not here to waste people's time. The same way that I'm not here to waste your time, as you saw, we quickly got into the meat and potatoes of it, is the same way that you need to act on YouTube. Because I've been trained in terms of YouTube analytics. I see when people drop off my videos. I see when people lose interest. So there's a reason that this presentation that you're seeing on the screen right now was created the way that it is, right? So that's the same mentality that you need to have with your video. So once you briefly introduce the channel, introduce yourself, introduce a little bit of the topic, then you're going to tease out the ending. You know what this means is you're encouraging people to stay to the end for a special prize, if you will. And make sure you stay to the end, because I'm going to share with you the #1 way to save $5,000 on your next home purchase. You know, if you were a consumer, if you heard that, wouldn't you want to stay to the end? That's a tease. You're going to tease out the end, right? And then you're going to get right into the content. All right, I'm going to share with you bullet point A, bullet point B, bullet point C, and just go into what you're going to cover. So as an example, if you were going to do a video on how to buy a house, this is where you would go into the process of getting pre-qualified, into searching for a home, getting into contract, getting approved, closing, all that fun stuff. That's the content. That's the actual value that you're providing, or you promised that was going to be provided in the video. and then you deliver on that tease on what you were saying. So in the example that I gave earlier, if you're going to share with individuals how to save $5,000 on their next home purchase, this is when you would deliver on that promise, on that tease, right? And then you just quickly do an outro, just leave, basically. So, hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more, and you're done. Now, the reason I want you to have a structure, even if it's not this, you're going to know your own voice. But the reason I want you to have a structure is because you're going to be able to test moving forward. If you see that, hey, this structure, this is working well, I'm going to keep doing it. Or if you see, hey, after 20 seconds, it looks like I'm losing 40% of my audience. What am I doing different? Or what am I doing wrong? Well, it'll let you know, hey, work on a better hook or rearrange your structure, right? This is something that you can test in the future. If you subscribe to this structure, if you use this structure, well, test out a different structure. If you want to do the intro first and then do a hook, I wouldn't suggest it, but just give you an example. Right, so is this making sense? I want to make sure that, I know we're going super quickly, but as I promised at the beginning, I want you to have as many actionable items as possible. And if you had never made a YouTube video in your life before, I want you to at least have the roadmap for you to actually execute on that today. Right, so there's nothing here that's going to be missed that, oh, well, I wonder what to do now. No, I want to just give you everything so you see how simple it is to implement. At the end of the day, as you're getting the hang of it and are trying to understand, hey, what video should I make next? Ask yourself, how close is the viewer from calling me? So repeat, this is one of those things that if you want to take a screen capture or write this down somewhere, I strongly encourage you to do this. To write this down, how close is the viewer from calling me? If you ask yourself this question, as you're getting prepared to record a video, this will let you know what to expect when it comes to leads, right? Because think of your viewer. There are certain videos that your viewer is watching that lets you know where they are in the home buying process or the home selling process, right? So if somebody is searching the best real estate agent in Dallas, well, that's, about a little bit about that motivation. That lets you know, well, they're looking for a real estate agent for some purpose. Most likely it's going to be to buy or sell. Well, there's different motivation from that viewer compared to another viewer that is researching, should I refinance my house? Well, that's a different conversation. They're a little bit further from the decision point. They're in research mode, right? Those that are searching for how to buy a house, well, they're a little bit further behind as well because they don't necessarily have the entire understanding or knowledge of what needs to happen, right? So ask yourself, how close is the viewer from calling me? So this is where I give you a bit of a personal example. So right now, what I noticed here recently, which I saw your question there in the chat, Debbie, about do you send them to a landing page? So I'll answer that here because it's important for the example that I'm going to give you. Here in the past week, I noticed that I started getting a lot more leads, but not the traditional leads that I'm used to. I'm used to different style leads. I've started getting a lot more opt-ins into my CRM, into my landing page, which here we have Remind, and I threw up a landing page through Remind, which some of you might have it, some of you might not. Forget Remind right now. I just want you to understand kind of why I'm bringing this up. So I started getting a lot more opt-ins and Remind, and last I counted, I think in the last week, 20 leads came through from that one funnel alone. The reason that funnel started popping off is because here in Texas, at least, the property valuations or the assessed value of homes came out. So as we know, in the market that we're in, it's super white hot. So property values shot up and they were reflected on people's property taxes. So all of a sudden I had an influx of a bunch of people watching my video on how to protest your property taxes in Texas. So what's funny about that is not only did I get all those leads and that started going through that funnel, which was a simple um, landing page that I had through Remind, which allowed them to actually view properties that were sold in their area so they can protest their property taxes. What was funny about that was that even a prior client that I helped buy a house, this was in 2018, John and Lydia, I helped them buy a house in Coppell, Texas. He texted me last night saying, "Hey, I'm watching your how to protest your property taxes video. Um, do you have that form that what was it, the protest form that you mentioned in the video?" The reason that that's so funny to me is because John and Liddy, I knew them and helped them before I had the YouTube channel. And here they are full circle. They're watching me out in the wild, as I like to say. So I didn't prompt them to go watch that video. They found it organically. So it was really validating to what I was doing. Right. So again, just going back to ask yourself, how close is the viewer from calling me? So to help you in that particular example of, people that are protesting the property taxes, the next action item for me is, well, hey, what are you thinking? Is something that is now the right time to downsize? Like I can help you protest your property taxes. I'm quite successful with it, and be that additional value add. So many of them are going to stay, obviously, but many of them are going to stay. However, that gives me an opportunity to provide value up front. So who do you think they're going to reach out to when it is time for them to go ahead and move over to another property? Anyway, so I'll kind of leave it at that. But here's the checklist. If you're going to take a snapshot of this, I encourage you to do it. If you haven't started on your YouTube channel, this is the roadmap. Again, I have no interest in hiding anything from you. I want you to see it all right here. All righty. So any questions? I think we're at that point. I want to make sure that I get you out of here at an appropriate time.
I have a comment.
Yeah.
So I do things a little differently when I come up with the content. I write down them just like you do, and then I rank order them in what I think is going to do the best, and I do them just like you say. But then I go down the list and do the others, because I've discovered that I'm not smart enough to know what my audience wants. And I would say I have a 50-50 record of picking. And sometimes YouTube videos I make that I would never put at the top of the list do better than things I think should. So I recommend to rank order them and then go down the list, because in the end, only your public knows what will work. What do you think about that?
I think that once you have enough videos on or not even enough, once you get some videos out there, YouTube itself will let you know what's working. So really what I want to illustrate with that workflow of brainstorming and optimizing, and at the optimizing stage looking for traffic, thumbnail, and title, is especially as you're getting going, YouTube can be the most isolating platform around. So you can spend hours invested in one video and nobody watches it. So what I really wanted to illustrate there is, as you're getting going, at least give yourself a shot at providing something that the marketplace would want. Once you get more videos though, 100%, the audience itself in the comment section themselves will let you know, hey, can you make a video on, I saw you made a video on Fort Worth. Can you make a video on the new construction community that's going up west of town, as an example? So I agree with you 100% in, the audience is going to let you know, but before that happens, we have to get started. So I think both of them would be both of them make sense in my mind. All right, so let's see here. Try
Thank
using.
I just want to say thank you, Jaime. I really appreciate you, and I also appreciate like your delivery, because that is like what you're saying. In my experience, that is the biggest thing that we have issues with, is the action and implementation of doing these things. We sit here, we watch the YouTube, we go to these trainings, and then we freeze up because, oh, what camera should I use? What lighting should I use? What this, what that? And it's like the most important thing that you need to do about creating these videos is you need to do it. And one of those things that you mentioned today that I haven't really heard you mention before is, because I like to get rid of excuses. It's priority. We all have 24 hours in a day, and it's a matter of priority. And actually, video will help you maximize, and it will make you more efficient, because talking and speaking is the fastest way of communication that we have right now compared to typing and all of the other forms of communication. So just wanted to share that.
100%, Jerome. 100%. A YouTube insider told me the algorithms like you to edit in YouTube. You get more Google juice. So I edit my videos in Capwing, but add the subtitles in YouTube. I don't think there's any validity to that. I've never heard that. And I can't think of a large creator that has actually done that. So I'd be curious to see if that's a thing of editing the videos on YouTube. Um, Interesting. No, I've never heard that. Okay. I make a thumbnail in Canva. I use the same thumbnail for every video. All I have to do is change the title. You can do that. One thing that you'll want to look for though is if it's too similar, especially as you get more and more videos out there, your audience might think that it's the same video. So if you change things up, you can have the same style, but if you change things up and make it pronounced that, hey, this is a different video, I'm covering something completely different. You might be, my concern is that the thumbnail, if it stays the same and if you're just changing the title, actually it's the exact same thumbnail, no, then I would encourage you to change that up, because you're losing a lot of click-through rate. Do you have the link to slides? Yeah, if you email me jaime.resendiz@exprealty.com, I'll send you the slides. I'll always use a crazy question as a hook. 100%. Do you send them to a landing page? You can send them to a landing page, but with your landing page, I encourage you to have a value proposition, a lead magnet, something that prompts them or a reason for them to give you their contact information. So as an example, when I was talking about me seeing this influx of leads just from that one video here recently, was in the video I share step-by-step how to protest your property taxes, and I promised them access to the MLS so they could have access to the properties that were sold. So I just used Remind as that landing page. So people that were opting in to that funnel, they were opting in with the expectation that they were going to be able to search the properties in their neighborhood that sold. That way they were able to pull the comps and protest their property taxes. So I used that landing page, but again, with the value added of, if you put in your information here, you're going to get it. Oh, you're going to get the comps. I'm sorry. I have property in Dallas County. Good luck with the protest. The values are correct. The downside are 25%. Yeah. I have to protest 6 properties here soon. What's your channel name, and are you reusing TikTok videos to your YouTube shorts? My channel name is Jaime Resendiz. That's my education channel. My B2C channel, I think right now I call it Dallas Real Estate or DFW Real Estate. And do you use TikTok videos to YouTube shorts? No, I go the other way. I create for YouTube, and then I create little shorts little clips from YouTube, and I repurpose them on TikTok. I don't create for TikTok first. Thank you so much for...
Jaime, could you drop your email address in really quickly, and I'm going to make a request of the class. Could you please send Jaime some feedback on the presentation today? A couple of sentences, couple words, just send him some feedback on his presentation, please.
Thank you. Thank you for your great session. Hope I can get started doing videos. Kay, I would encourage you to drop the hope and say, "Hey, I'm gonna dedicate Monday
I'm gonna
to."
try. I'm gonna try.
There's a
I'm
No,
gonna
there's
try.
no,
there's a
you're
lot
not
of
gonna
wiggle room.
try.
There's a lot of wiggle room there, Kay.
Right.
I hate to be such a downer, but it makes me feel like I wasted my time here. So at least try. Then you'll not try. Let me rephrase that. At least do on Monday, and then you'll know if it worked or didn't. Right? And sorry, and hopefully you take that the right way. We this because we care.
Did you tell us what you use to edit your videos? Maybe I didn't get that.
I didn't tell you any software that you have that's already included in your computer is going to work.
Okay, I'm an Apple user, so I should have some.
Yeah, I think that one's called, what is it called, Jerome? Garage something?
I don't
Folks,
know.
help me out.
GarageBand,
What's the free one?
GarageBand, iMovie. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
iMovie.
know Mac.
There it is. iMovie. Thank you for that. Thank you for the assist. So yeah, iMovie is already installed in your computer. What is 5 cards? Well, when if you ever watched a YouTube video that says, "Hey, and make sure you check out this video where I talk about X, Y, and Z." In the middle of the video, if you've ever seen a YouTuber do that, they're pointing to what's called a card, which is a URL to another video. So you get up to 5 of those cards. Now, I will warn you, don't overuse this because you don't want to affect your videos in a negative way. So if you start a video, let's just say it's a 5-minute long video, and on second 30, as an example, and in 30 seconds, you're saying, "Hey, and make sure that if you haven't watched the video, my first part video on how to protest your property taxes, make sure that you click here." I would ask that you don't do that, especially that early on, because what you're doing is you're training your audience to click out of that video. And what YouTube is going to see is, wow, people watch this video, and for some reason, after 30 seconds, they all leave. This must be a terrible video. Right? So it's okay to use cards, but don't overuse them, and certainly don't use them too early in your video, because that's a great way for the video that you're presently in perform badly. All right. Any final questions? What do you use to edit your? I use Fiverr. I don't edit myself. I don't design them myself. So I use Fiverr. Just go on there. Anyone's gonna work. $5 to $10. That's all you need.
Jaime,
Click on that.
Jaime, do you still have that course? Do you have this course that you offer?
I do have the done for you service. Thanks for the reminder, Jerome. So I do have a service. We'll actually manage your YouTube channel. We'll edit your videos. We will do your thumbnails. We will optimize your titles. We will write your descriptions. We do everything with the exception of recording the video for you. So you record the video, we chop it up, we make it viewable, we optimize we create the thumbnail, we optimize the title, the description, and everything. So if you're interested in that, then just send me an email, and just so everybody knows, it's $500 a month, and you get up to 5 videos a week. 5 videos a month. How long should your YouTube videos be? Start out by 5 minutes. Make a video for 5 minutes and start getting some data. If you see that most people are leaving immediately, then we need to start working on your presentation, storytelling, and maybe your topic is a little bit off. But if you're noticing that people mostly stay to the very end, it lets you know that, hey, I can actually make longer videos. Maybe I try to do too much in one video. I should probably make it a little bit longer. So just start off with 5 minutes. I used to tell people, as long as it's needed to convey the point that you're trying to convey, but most stages didn't like that answer. All right, folks, so I do have to head on to the next one. Jerome, anything I can do for you?
Nothing for me. Jaime, thank you so much. I appreciate you dedicating time to this class. And you're only here for an hour, but I know it takes time to present. So I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And again, to anybody that's still here, please just email Jaime some feedback so he can utilize that feedback in the future on for this presentation. So Jaime, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.